If you are an Indian and a Hindu, you would probably have seen that for a period of specific 16 days, usually in September or October, you are restricted to buy new clothes or start any auspicious thing. But you do honor your ancestor by doing Shraddh, also known as Pitru Paksh. It is a significant period in Hindu lunar calendar falling during the waning phase of Ashwin month. It typically begins around the full moon of Bhadrapad and lasts for 16 days, concluding with no moon day known as Sarvapitri Amavasya, also known as Mahalya Amavasya. Pitru Paksh follows the fortnight immediately after Ganesh Utsav and preceding the Navratris. Most years, the autumnal equinox falls within this period, that is, the sun transition from northern hemisphere to the southern hemisphere. During this time, it is believed that the spirit of ancestors residing in Pitrulok return to the earth to accept offerings from their descendants. And how it happens? There are certain rituals to follow, the key rituals being Bhoj, Pindadan, and Tarpan. Bhoj is a feast organized often for Brahmins or the poor as representative of ancestors. By feeding them, we symbolically feed the souls of ancestors. Pindadan, this is an offering of pindas, ball made up of rice, barley, and sesame, which represents the ancestor. The Tarpan. In this ritual, the water mixed with sesame seeds is poured while chanting mantras. The water quenches the thirst of the departed soul and is a symbolic offering to soothe their spirits. The ancient belief is that by performing such rituals, we liberate the soul of our forefathers from any earthly ties, ensuring their peace in the afterlife. The offerings also bless the living, bringing prosperity, health, and fortune. These rituals are a way of saying, thank you for the life you gave us, and we will continue to remember you. This is what the Markandeya Puran had said. When the Pitrus are delighted with Shraddh, they bestow long life, wisdom, wealth, knowledge, swarg, final emancipation from existence, and joys and sovereignty. And also, if you want to know how to perform and who can else perform, and question like female can do it or not, and many other, I would definitely suggest you to watch this video by Updesh Ashtakam, whose link is in the description box for better and deep understanding. Now, if you're asking why 16 days, there might be more than one reasons. See, in Mahabharata, the story of Karna provides a powerful reason for why these rituals are so important. Karna, one of the greatest warriors, was also known for his incredible generosity. But when he died and ascended to the heavens, he was shocked to find that he was given gold and jewels instead of food. The gods explained that while he had donated wealth, he had never offered food to his ancestors. In his distress, Karna was sent back to earth for 16 days to perform the rituals for his forefathers. This is where the tradition of Pitru Paksh actually originates, a reminder that the feeding the living and the dead is equally important. And the other reason being the concept of time in different realms, and it is indeed fascinating. See, Garud Puran states that the astral realm where our Pitrus ancestors dwell is called Pitrulok, a realm between heaven and earth, operates on a different time scale compared to human realm. It is often said that one day in Pitrulok is equivalent to 16 days in the human realm, and which is governed by god of death Yamraj. During Pitru Paksh, the door of this realm are opened, allow the souls to descend to earth. It is a time when the balance between life and death, the material and the spiritual, becomes tangible. Also, if you see, Pitru Paksh occurs during a period when the alignment of planets and the change of seasons signify a time of spiritual transition. This is when the connection between the material and spiritual world is believed to be the strongest, making it an ideal time to honor the deceased. And astronomically speaking, as per Surya Siddhant, the ancient Hindu astronomical text, it defines a day of Pitrus as a beginning with the autumnal equinox and ending with the vernal equinox. During this period, the sun is overhead the southern hemisphere. The south, being the celestial sphere, is consecrated to ancestors. Hence, The moment when the sun transits from north to south celestial sphere is considered to begin a day of the ancestor, and the day of God is defined as inverse of the day of the Pitru. And by honoring our ancestors, we often feed the crows. In fact, it is one of the most interesting aspects of Pitru Paksh, that is the role of the crow. In Hindu tradition, the crow is considered a messenger between the human and spirit world. During this time, people offer food to crows, believing that if the crow eats it, their offerings have reached their ancestors. The Garud Puran explains that feeding a crow during Pitru Paksh is as good as feeding your ancestors directly. But there is one more reason for crow to be very important, and it is related to our environment and our ancestors being extremely intelligent. So, have you ever planted people or banyan trees or seen anyone planting them? Or do you ever find people or banyan seeds? Probably no, because nature has made a separate arrangement for planting these two useful trees. You see, the crows eat fruit of these two trees, and the seeds of these two trees are processed in their stomachs. After that, both these trees grow where the crows give excreta. People is a tree in the world that emits oxygen 24 hours, and banyan has many medicinal properties. That is why both these trees are very useful for us. Also, you see, the female crow lays eggs in the month of Bhadro, that is August and September, and newborns are born. Children of this new generation should get nutritious and rich food. Therefore, our sages and monks arrange nutritious foods for the newborn crows in the form of Shraddh so that the new generation of crows can be nurtured. Therefore, whenever you see people and banyan trees, you will remember your ancestors because they did Shraddh, so we are seeing these useful trees. Interesting, right? And it is not just in India that the dead are honored during the autumn months. Across the world, various cultures celebrate the lives of their ancestors around the same time of the year. And if you're asking, why on earth does this line between the living and dead become the thinnest during autumn? See, autumn marks the end of the harvest season in many cultures, a time of abundance and gratitude for the crops gathered around throughout the year. As communities come together to celebrate their bounty, it becomes a natural time to also remember and honor those who have passed, particularly ancestors who may have contributed to the family's well being. Also, autumn is a season characterized by decay and preparation for winters. The changing leaves, falling temperatures, and dying back of plants symbolize a cycle of life and death, making it a poignant time to reflect on mortality and the spiritual realm. Many cultures see this as a time when the barrier between the living and the dead is thinnest, allowing for the connection with ancestors. And if we look around the world, we see in Mexico the vibrant Dia de los Muertos or the Day of the Dead is a celebration where families set up ofrendas or feasts and share food with the spirit of the ancestors. Ma Nine is a fascinating and unique death ritual practiced by the Toraja people in Sulawesi, Indonesia, also known as the ceremony of the cleaning corpses. Ma Nine is held every few years where families exhume the bodies of their deceased relatives, clean and groom them, dress them in fresh clothes, and parade them around the village. This ritual is a way for Toraj people to show their enduring respect and love for their ancestors. They believe that death is not an abrupt end but a gradual process. Samhain is an ancient Celtic festival that marks the end of the harvest season and the beginning of winter, celebrated from October 31st to November 1st. It is one of the most important festivals in Celtic tradition, believed to be the time when the veil between the living and the spirit world is the thinnest. Halloween, celebrated on October 31st, has its origin in the ancient Celtic festival of Samhain. Over time, the Christianity spread, and days before All Saints' Day, that is November 1st, became known as All Hallows' Eve, eventually evolving into Halloween. Obon is a Japanese Buddhist festival dedicated to honoring the spirit of ancestors. Celebrated in mid August, Obon is a time where families believe that the spirits of their deceased loved ones return to the world of the living to be reunited with them. Celebrated over 15 days in September or October, Chumbain is a time when it is believed that the souls of the dead are released from the spirit world and seek offerings from their living relatives. Cambodians gather at pagodas to offer food, especially rice balls and other items, to the monks, who in turn transfer these offerings to the souls of the departed. Chuseok is one of the Korea's most important traditional holidays, often referred to as the Korean Harvest Festival or Korean Thanksgiving. Celebrated on the 15th day of the 8th month of the lunar calendar, typically in September or October, this holiday is deeply rooted in ancestral worship and family togetherness. Family returns to their hometowns to visit the graves of their ancestors and perform some rituals, where food and drinks are offered to honor the deceased. Zadushki or the All Souls Day is a Polish holiday observed on November 2nd dedicated to honoring the souls of the dead. Likewise, finado is a term used primarily in Brazil and other Latin American countries to refer to a deceased person. The term is often associated with cultural traditions and celebrating honoring the dead. The month of Hungry Ghost is a traditional festival observed in several East Asian cultures, particularly in Chinese communities. And All Souls Day, observed on November 2nd, is a Christian festival dedicated to remembering and praying for the souls of the deceased. As we perform the rituals of the dead, we are not just feeding our ancestors, we are nourishing our connection to the cosmos. In Pitru Paksh or Shraddh, we are reminded of the deep bonds we share with our ancestors and the importance of honoring them. This sacred period not only allows us to reflect on their lives but also strengthen our connection to our roots, guiding us towards a future filled with love, gratitude, and respect for those who came before us. And as we know that the Pitru Paksh starts immediately after Ganesh Utsav, which was actually a master stroke of Bal Gangadhar Tilak that became a weapon for the Indian freedom struggle. If you want to know this, check this video. Thank you for watching and see you next one.